So we're going to be leaving Bangor again soon. Where in the world do you want to go?
If I could choose anywhere in the world, anywhere?
So my family has decided to leave Bangor, Maine. They've been here for about 2 years or so as I've traveled around the world working on my various journalistic projects on my own. And finally they said enough is enough, we want to go too. We want to get back to traveling. But the only question is, where to now? Where to now? Those have to be like three of the best words in the English language to string together. When you say where to now, I mean, first of all, it means that, things are done wherever you are, right? Either, something went belly up, bridges have been burned, you completed a project, that's just time to go. And the fact that you're asking this question, where to now, means that you don't have really a solid idea of what's going to happen next, where you're going to end up, what you're going to do. And just the possibility and the potential is just endless. So right now we're looking over maps, looking at the internet, talking with each other, trying to figure out where our next base of operations is going to be.
Do you want to go to Dallas?
Now, there's basically 2 criteria that my family needs for these bases of operation. Number 1, it has to be a place that my wife likes. Has to be a nice place, has to be comfortable, easy to get food, cheap enough to live in, safe-ish. And number 2, it must be a good air travel hub. What I mean by this is certain cities have very good airports, and some cities, most cities, have airports that are not so good. What I mean by a good airport is good connections, both regionally and internationally, and cheap flights. My work and my livelihood is always directly connected to an airport. So when I look over the map of the world, I don't just see really cool mountains and beaches and rivers and all that, but what I especially see is really good airports. And the finalists for the next place that we are going to set up our base of operations are number 1. Almaty, Kazakhstan. Almaty is this surprisingly cosmopolitan city in the heart of Eurasia. There's all these really really cafes and bars and kind of real creative kind of like a service culture. And the place is kind of commercially developed in its own style. I mean, the place is like a little paradise, like right in the heart of the post-Soviet realm. It's real cheap to live there. There's all kinds of sort of nice, Soviet apartment complexes, and the livability is almost off the charts. Number 2. Jinmen, Taiwan. While sitting a mere 3 kilometers off the coast of mainland China, the Jinmen Islands are thoroughly a part of Taiwan. And actually they're kind of this set of 2 or 3 islands that have just kind of been marooned off of the Taiwanese mainland. I mean, I believe Taipei is something 1,000 kilometers away or something like that. And these islands sit right off the coast of China. Now I'm standing on my balcony in Xiamen Island, off the coast of Fujian province of China. And I'm going out there, right across the little narrow strait. It's Lesser Jinmen Island, and beyond that, Big Jinmen Island. You see, though, this is Xiamen right here. My apartment's actually right there, and that's this Big Jinmen Island right here. And there's a little Jinmen Island. And because of this kind of strange geopolitical position, and because of its history of being the front lines of where the civil war between PRC, the People's Republic of China, the communists, and the nationalists was kind of drawn. Now, this is a pretty cool thing on Little Jinmen Island. Back during time when it was super militarized, the Taiwanese military dug all these tunnels through the island so they can go underground from when the Chinese troops were like bombing them and stuff like that. And now you can see these posts behind me. What they are essentially, they kind of look like railroad ties that were like angled off and sharpened. Basically, what these are used for is to keep boats from the communist, the PRC, from coming over and landing on Jinmen during the time when they'd periodically attack. The place is kind of has almost been forgotten for decades, right? Culturally speaking, it's kind of how China would have been without communism, or looked at another way, Taiwan without the major corporations. So it's pretty much the only place, or one of the only places in the world where you can go and see Chinese culture as it would have like evolved gradually without the upheavals of the 20th century. Now, the people there, many of them still live in these like really traditional swallowtail roof homes that are extremely cheap to rent out. I mean, you can live in Jinmen for about, $200 or $300 per month as far as rent. And there's all these ancient villages everywhere, kind of beautiful countryside. I was walking through these cornfields. I think there's gonna be a little village up ahead of me. There's temples everywhere, and people still practice the old traditions, and these are like real living traditions, and not something that's being kind of recreated for tourism or so people can not forget their past. But it's on Jinmen, this is real. And number 3.
Hey Rivy. Hi Riv. Rivy, look at Daddy. Rivy, look at Daddy.
Singapore. Now, I hardly need to describe Singapore here. It's a city-state in the heart of Eurasia that's made up of people from every corner of the continent, just kind of converged in the middle. Absolutely, culturally fascinating. Singapore is like a really cool place for the traveler, because like, you can see like all the cultures and all the people that you met like all over Asia, right? Or even all over the world for that matter, all in this one city-state. Thrown in, all in together, and they've been here for generations and generations and generations, right? So they're like all from here now. And they're all just kind of existing side by side. You have like Indian culture, Malay culture, Chinese culture, all kind of combined into like what's now known as Singapore. And the place, of course, is extremely clean, extremely well run, absolutely beautiful city to live in. There's a lot going on. There's beaches, and there's like this, this multicultural vibe, and a lot of languages that are being spoken, which is good for my children. The downside of Singapore is that it's a little expensive. But the upside is that there's a lot of places to hang out and drink beer and just enjoy life. But if you come to these places that are just like these kind of like street stalls, these sidewalk cafe kind of restaurant places, you get good cheap food, and you get to eat it in kind of a social environment that's out in the streets. It's you can see things. It's just pretty cool. As far as air travel goes, well, Singapore is one of the best, if not the best, air travel hub on the planet. So we're going to put this to a vote. Out of these 3 places that we have decided that we may set ourselves up in a base of operations next, Singapore, Almaty, Kazakhstan, or Jinmen, Taiwan, which would you like to see us go to? Please let us know in the comments below. Like we're doing a tattoo.
Is that Jen?
Okay, no.
You doing what?
I'm towing Rivka, and you're just racing ahead. Come on, little girl, go faster.
So we're going to be leaving Bangor again soon. Where in the world do you want to go?
If I could choose anywhere in the world, anywhere? somewhere in Australia.